taller I become, the farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Our lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there's something inside so strong, so strong. I know that I can make it. You're doing me wrong, so wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. But we know better. Just look them in the eyes and say, gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Something inside so strong. And I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Oh, that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Because there's inside so strong. Inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Make it. But you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Oh, no. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Make it. But you're doing me wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Something inside so Yes, something inside so strong, something inside so strong, regardless of what life throws at us, we're going to bounce back. We're going to take that something inside that is so strong and say we're going to make it anyway. We are going to survive, not just survive, we are going to thrive, regardless of the challenges life throws at us. Yes, something inside so strong. Thank you once again for joining me for another program of Divorce Hurts. I went on a hiatus for a while, but we are back again. Divorce Hurts. I'll say a quick word of prayer because I don't want to just mince words, but whoever hears it, going through a divorce, knows someone going through a divorce, it could encourage them and strengthen them for the challenge, for the difficulty, and the pain that is divorce. Heavenly Father, thank you for another wonderful evening. My Lord and my God, thank you for this opportunity, for choosing me as a vessel to bring this healing and these words unto hurting and broken souls and minds. I pray that whoever tunes in will have something to hold on and to say, yes, I'm going to hold on one more time and not give up on life, regardless of the challenging situation or the pain they may find themselves in. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So, yes, something inside so strong. This evening, it's another program of Divorce Hurts. Divorce Hurts. Taking care of your mental well being during and after the pain of divorce. The pain of divorce. Divorce is so painful, but we don't hear about the pain of divorce on the airwaves, on the internet, on social media. We don't hear about the pain of divorce because I think the narrative has been, oh, yeah, he's walked out, she's walked out. Don't let them see you are hurting. Just get on with your life. I beg to differ. It is not as simple as that because divorce is so painful. It is so painful, but we don't talk about it enough. Divorce is painful, divorce hurts. I have had the opportunity, I've been blessed with the opportunity to go into labor twice on two different occasions. And by God's grace, I was blessed with two wonderful human beings. Labor pains are painful. And dare I say, I will put divorce, the pain of divorce, a close second to the pains of labor. I will put the pain of divorce a close second to the pain of labor. Divorce is painful. It hurts your very soul, the very fiber of your being. It disrupts your life, it disrupts your thinking. You can't think straight. You feel like 1 minute you're angry, 1 minute you're sad, 1 minute you are crying. You don't know what to do. And to add to it, the pressure of people, because you yourself, you're battling with your mind. You have the questions: when, how, should I, would have, could have, maybe, if I had, if I'd done this, if I'd done that. There's a guilt in the back of your mind. Divorce is so painful. With labor pains, more often than not, the family come back with a blessed soul, a blessed human being, a blessed individual, and they're happy. So it makes the pain worthwhile. But unfortunately, in divorce, you lose. The parties lose a part of them. Divorce is both parties that hurt, male and female. The men may not express it as we women think they do, as we women may express it, but both parties go through the pain of divorce. It is an excruciating pain. I don't have the words. With divorce, you lose a part of your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, family, friends, community, and your support systems. It's even more painful. Divorce is even made more painful in the body of Christ. Why do I say that? Because in the body of Christ, if care is not taken, aside your own guilt that you're going through, you're going through your own agony, and it's the analysis. The mind just won't rest. You're analyzing, is it your fault? Could I have done it better? He should have done this. She should have done this. In the body of Christ, sometimes it is made even worse.
the pain is made even worse. You may be isolated or sometimes even ostracized by the church. You may be seen as unclean. You may be seen as not a good enough Christian. You didn't pray enough. You didn't fast enough. You have your own emotional torture. So when this layer comes on top of it, it makes the process even more painful. Before I proceed, you can tune in if you're in Ghana, Accra, Yonkopa Radio 89.1 FM. Thank you so much. They are really supporting me, pushing it out there, getting the message out there. So thank you so much, John Bafowa and your team. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. So if you're in Accra, tune in Yonkopa Radio 89.1 FM. And you can go to my YouTube page, ABOK TV, ABOK TV. Go there, your comments, questions, put your questions there, your comments. I can pick them up and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Or go to my the divorcee page, Divorce on My Terms on Facebook. Put your comments there, your questions. It will appear on my screen here and I'll answer them as best as possible. So thank you for tuning in. So again, continuing, there's the pain, that layer of feeling of isolation, not being a Christian enough, not praying enough, not fasting enough. So it is added onto the already emotional torture you are feeling. And then in some families, you're seen as you've brought shame to the family. You've brought shame to the family. You may be the first person to have gone through divorce. Your mother, your father, your grandparents, your third and fourth grandparents. Nobody in this family, we don't divorce. It's only you. What is wrong with you? You are a curse. You are a shame. So for people from such a background, again, so if this person is a Christian, belongs to a church where they are quite heavy on the fact that he or she is a divorcee, and then from a family that feels like you've brought shame, so that's added two more layers to the already emotional torture that divorcee is going through. And as I said earlier, it's not only the women who suffer, the men also suffer. The men also go through the pain of divorce. Divorce is so painful. Divorce is painful for both men and women. The thing about women is we are finding that, women, we talk. You can tell the difference between a baby girl and a baby boy. The baby girl comes out blabbing la, 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 from day one. The baby girl starts talking right from the womb, la 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 la, or singing or humming or something. And the boy is just there with his toy, so serious, focused, doing whatever it is they do. As women, we talk. So I think, I'm not saying the pain, women don't feel the pain more, no. But the point I'm making is men tend to bottle things up. Men don't share the pain. And with men, the shame is even like times 4 for them, because for them, the marriage is attached to their ego, is who they are, feel like a failure. It happens to both sexes, but I'm saying for the men, it's even more. And what makes it worse is the men tend to bottle things up. They don't share, because society, things are improving, but especially in our Afro-Caribbean communities, Black men have been taught and raised not to cry. Black men have been taught and raised not to cry. Okay? Not to cry literally and metaphorically. What do I mean by that? We have raised our men not to cry, not to say that they hurt, not to say that they're going through pain. So for majority of men, when they're going through pain, they either turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, or they turn to sex. They just slip around like nobody's business. It's the pain. They are looking for an outlet. They may turn to drugs. They are looking for an outlet. When men hurt, if it's not alcoholism, if it's not drugs, it's not just sleeping around with anything and everything, then the worst, they fall into a deep depression. A majority might even consider suicide. Some even go further to attempt it. Some survive, some don't. Some survive, some don't. And there's something, a note I made, and I want to say it this time. So many people have not made it through divorce. They have not survived divorce. That is how painful and challenging divorce is. Some don't survive. They either die again, both literal or metaphorical broken heart. They die from a literal broken heart or metaphorical broken heart. What do I mean by that? Some people just, the heart physically enlarges or something happens to them and they never back to themselves anymore after they've been through divorce. Okay? Some literally, they can, my heart, before you realize they've kicked the bucket, they've died. That is how painful divorce is. Divorce is not an easy decision, and it is not to be taken lightly. Divorce is painful. It really hurts. It really hurts. Some don't make it mentally. Some don't make it mentally. Some, unfortunately, there are people who are still in mental institutions as a result of divorce. There are people, I repeat that, who are still in mental institutions for the long term. They have been there for years. They never made it back. They never made it back. So that is how painful and challenging and difficult divorce is. Divorce is a shock to the system. It is a shock to the system. There is the burden of guilt, fear, and shame. There's the burden of guilt, fear, and shame. Fear of the future. What is going to happen? What will happen to me? And I've talked a bit about the shame. As before, even your family might say it brought shame to your family, your mind, you yourself, because whether we like it or not, we kind of build our identity by the other person. Think about it. For us women, become Mrs. So and so. And for the men, they become, oh, so and so's husband. So right there, your identity has changed simply because you got married. Okay? So now suddenly, that identity is like, who am I now? Now that the marriage that has defined me for so long a time, who am I? And as minute as it seems, it is a big issue on an emotional and psychological level because you wonder, okay, who am I now? Do I change my name? What do I do? Where do I start? What's going to happen to ABC? There are little things as basic as, oh, I'm making a cup of tea. Would you want one? You could ask your husband or your wife, oh, I'm making a cup of tea. Would you want one? I'm getting water. Do you want one? I'm getting a bottle of Coke from the fridge. Do you want one? Is these little things, suddenly it's gone. For instance, you go to work, everybody has things going on in the workplace. And who's the first person you talk to? You call your husband or your wife. Oh, this person did that. You've talked so much. Do you realize that you probably talk so much about your work colleagues that your husband or your wife knows them by name, even though they don't work in the same office or company with you? You form a bond during marriage. You form an attachment during marriage. But suddenly divorce comes in. And you finish work, something happens, and you want to pick up the phone and call your husband and your wife, and this person is not there. And it dawns on you, oh, we are not together again. And this is all new. And for instance, if you've been in the marriage for like 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I know people who have divorced after 20, well, we had Bill Gates and his wife, 27 years. So you form these attachments, these bonds, and it's painful. It's like it's uncharted waters. Okay, I was familiar, formed these routines, and I was aware of these routines. I got it in the bag. I know what to do. Come end of the month, he's doing that, I am doing that, or she's doing that, I am doing that. She's making sure these bills are paid. He's making sure the kids are doing this. But suddenly, all that routine and structure has been disrupted. So it shocks your system. And you not see that coming. Some say they did not see that coming. Some say they saw it coming. Individuals, we can't force them to say you should have seen it coming. It, even if you saw it coming, it still rocks your system because you're hoping and praying that it's not true. You're doing everything within your power to say this divorce is not happening, it's not going ahead. I mean, for the long haul, for better, for worse, we're going to grow old together. And the dreams could be as simple as, oh, we grow old together, and when he or she's holding a walking stick, we'll prop each other up, or when the kids have left home. You know, some of us are dreamers. We are, especially empaths, we are dreamers. We like to romanticize everything. Oh, when the kids leave home, we're going to do this together. We're going to do that together. Suddenly, divorce happens, and all those dreams and aspirations is blown out of the water. What do you do? It is painful. Divorce is painful. Divorce is a broken attachment between two people. It is a broken attachment between two people. When people get married, they become attached. They become attached emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually. They become attached on every level. They become attached on every level. So divorce is a broken attachment. Divorce is not just a matter of separating assets, you know, your house, my house, bank account. No, it's not just that. It is not just separating belongings. It is the disconnecting of a very strong bond founded on deep feelings of dependency and need. It is the disconnecting, it's the breaking apart, it's the severing of a very strong bond founded on deep feelings of dependency and need. So in marriage, you become kind of dependent on one another. I'm not talking about codependent, no, but somehow, oh yeah, he can pick my laundry at 5 o'clock. You're relying on him or her to pick up your laundry. That person is not there anymore. So the dating and the marriage it connects the two people on an emotional and psychological level, physiological level. Sorry, psychological level. Even you're thinking before you say something, you notice the married couples, the woman or the man starts something and the woman just completes the sentence. They've been connected, they've been bonded at such a deep level. And now that bond, that attachment is being ripped apart. So it is painful. Remember that Bible verse, Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. In marriage, the two become one. So therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife. Shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They shall become one flesh. So now, in a marriage, you have become one flesh, and suddenly with divorce, you are ripping. So one flesh, it's stuck together, and divorce is ripping it apart. So it is very, very painful. I've repeated it so many times. A surgeon likened it to an open heart surgery. It's like major surgery because you are ripping one body apart. Divorce can be isolating. Divorce can be isolating. I want to highlight the pain of divorce and the necessity to take care of our mental well-being. You see, divorce tasks us on such a deep emotional and psychological level. So we need to take care of our mental well-being during this difficult and challenging period. It can be isolating, either real or imposed. Either you're isolated by your community or you yourself, your mind, so you will isolate yourself. And divorcees need to be aware that isolation, that loneliness. You can be lonely for a while, but if you're lonely for a long period of time, that is not good. Loneliness is different from being alone. Loneliness is different from being alone. Being alone, you're happy with yourself, you're having a quiet time, you're just reflecting on life. That is even healthy. But when you're lonely and there's this sadness, this kind of depression, one minute you're crying, you're weeping, and you keep isolating yourself and being lonely, that is not good. That is not healthy for your mental well-being. That is not healthy. And that is what I'm saying. Divorcees need to pay attention. They need to be aware of that. They need to recognize that and do something about it. I'll come to that something in a minute. The end of a marriage is one of the most emotionally painful human experiences. Divorce is a relational trauma. It is a kind of trauma. As we talk about childhood trauma, and come to think about it, a lot of us are struggling and still dealing and battling with childhood trauma. What are some of the childhood trauma we went through? Severe beatings, sexual molestation, feeling being targeted, being mocked by a parent or something like that. A lot of us are still struggling from these childhood traumatic events. And now we are saying divorce is a relational trauma. It is a form of trauma you are going through. What I'm trying to do is for the divorcees to acknowledge what they've gone through. Because time and time again, I meet divorcees and they want to go with the narrative, oh yeah, he's going, she's going, so it doesn't matter. But you need to acknowledge for yourself, okay, this is painful. I've just been through a relational trauma. I've just been through something challenging, difficult on an emotional, psychological level. You need to acknowledge that difficulty. When you acknowledge that, that is your truth. That is the reality. When you acknowledge that, then you can start doing something about it, taking care of your emotional and mental well being. So, if you don't acknowledge it, then you'll be creating more suffering for yourself, and you may be prolonging the suffering. So, you need to acknowledge that. Sorry. You've just been through a relational trauma. And don't tell yourself, oh, maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe I'm just being a drama queen or a drama king, talking about the pain. No, you're not overreacting. You're not being a drama king or queen. It is your reality. Don't let anybody tell you that you're overreacting or you're just dramatizing. No, it is painful. You've just been through an open heart surgery of divorce. So it is very painful and it takes time. It takes time. So give yourself permission. Allow yourself to go through the pain. Don't rush into another relationship in the hope of that relationship being a gauze or a plaster for the pain you're going through, for the hole in your heart. Acknowledge that you are hurting. Acknowledge that you are hurting. Just like you have an injection or something, you go, oh my goodness, this is painful. In the same way, acknowledge it. Divorce is a form of a loss. When people lose loved ones, we go through a grief process. The counselors believe we go through a grief process. Psychology, they believe we go through a grief process. And divorce is the same. We go through a grieving process. Okay? And I'll quickly run through that grieving process. The first stage is denial. Denial. What happens at that stage? Avoidance, confusion, shock, fear. When divorce happens initially, no, it's not happening. That's not true. I know a few people who have gone through divorce, 2 years, 3 years, they're still wearing their ring and telling people, oh, we are fine. They have allowed that avoidance period to go on for so long. That is when they don't want to acknowledge and face the reality of the divorce. Okay? And there's that shame. They don't want society to judge them. So they are still pretending they are still married. But we go through that denial phase, avoidance, we are confused, we are in shock, we are in fear. And then from that denial stage, we may go through anger, frustration, irritation, anxiety. You are angry. You're angry with yourself. You're angry with your wife or your husband. You don't even know, sometimes you don't even know who you're angry with. You just wake up angry. And you're easily irritated. The slightest thing irritates you. Your kids just have to cough and you're angry, you're screaming. And the kids are watching you like, is mom or dad okay? I want you to know it's all part of the grieving process. You're going through that grieving process. When you're aware, I'm creating awareness with this first session, especially to those listening to Yankupa 89.1 FM. I'm creating awareness so that with awareness, then you know, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going through. So let me allow myself to go through this process. It's going to be okay. Just allow yourself to go through that pain, to go through that weeping, crying. Allow yourself. Don't try to stop it. And no, don't spiritualize it. I'm going to emphasize this point. Don't spiritualize it. It is normal. It is normal human emotion you are going through. Don't try to bind it. Don't try to cast it out. Allow yourself to go through. Yes, cry, weep, hurt, be angry, be frustrated, be irrational. It is normal human response you're going through. Then the third point is bargaining. This is where you're struggling to find meaning and you're reaching out to others. To me, I find this stage a healthy place to be. Struggling to find meaning and you're reaching out to others, telling one story. That is when you start telling people. I want to stress to men, if there's any man listening to me, boys do cry. I am a counselor and I'm giving you the permission to cry. I'm giving you the permission to say it hurts. Don't feel less of a man if you're crying to your mates that this divorce hurts. It's okay. Reach out for help. Don't bottle things up and let things eat you until it becomes too late. Some men out of the pain and bottling things up, they've just gone to pick their kids and just drove them and their kids off a hill and killed themselves. Don't get to that point. If you're a man listening to me, don't get to that point. Reach out for help. Talk to somebody. If you talk to the first person, the person is shutting you down. He or she is not the right person. Find another person. Get your ego out of the way. See it as look, when you catch yourself or when you're ill, you go to the doctor. So this is the same. You are simply reaching out for help. And I'm not saying this to the men alone, but I just wanted to stress that point. If you're a woman, reach out for help. If it's become too much for you, again, I'd like to make this point. Your pastor, your spiritual father, may not be equipped enough to support you during this period. Your pastor, your spiritual father, your spiritual mother may not be equipped enough. Your church counselor may not be equipped enough to support you emotionally during this period. They may even make your situation worse. We don't like to hear it, but I'm going to say it again. The counselor at church, he or she may have the title counselor, but they may not be equipped enough to deal with issues like this. Because if you go to the church counselor, he's telling just pray about it. No, you are the wrong person. He or she is not equipped. They don't have the words, they don't have the skills, but they can't admit to you that they don't have the skill to support you. Find another person. Keep talking about it until you find the right person to hear you out. And if you are able to afford it, reach out to the counselor. Reach out for psychological help. In UK, we call it talk therapy. That is counseling. Reach out for help. If, like I said, if you have a headache, you have a stomachache, you go to the hospital. In the same way, if the divorce is so much on you, reach out for help. Reach out for help. And the fourth stage is depression. Depression. You may feel overwhelmed. You feel helpless. That helplessness, hostility, and you're in flight. So there's that depression stage. And then there comes the acceptance stage. When you accept that, look, the divorce is happening, whether I like it or not, the divorce is happening. Then you start exploring options and you start putting new plans in place and you start to move on, to think of ways to move on. So I'll say, give yourself the time and the space to heal and repair. Give yourself the time and the space to heal and repair. I've started sweating on my face, so my glasses is sliding. Bear with me. That's why I keep wiping my face. Give yourself the time and space to heal and repair. If you have questions, if you have comments, please type them in. I can see it on screen. Those listening to Yonkopa, we are yet to invest on this app where you can call in live and I can hear you. So bear with us. We are working on that in the background. But if you have questions, if you have comments, you have contributions, type them in and I'll answer them. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Give yourself the time and the space to heal and repair. You are not damaged. For that period of divorce, you're just temporarily devastated. You're overwhelmed. Recovery will come. Give yourself the time and the space to heal and repair. Don't be that, if you are that one person that everybody used to come to seek advice, for help, support. No. Be honest with yourself. Be true to yourself. And say, this period right here, right now, I am devastated. I need help. So allow yourself the time and the space to heal and repair. And a breakup or divorce launching you into uncharted territory, I think I've mentioned that. So your routine, your responsibilities, your home, your relationships with extended family and friends, and even your identity, I've mentioned that. So divorce brings uncertainty about the future. Pardon me. So the pain, the disruption, and uncertainty that means that recovering from a breakup or divorce can be difficult and it takes time. Recovering from divorce, again, I'm going to stress and emphasize on this. It takes time. It takes time. Unfortunately, we are in a microwave era. So people want to rush this process. Divorce is painful. If you didn't hear anything at all, remember I've likened it to an open heart surgery. In Ghana, there's an open heart operation, okay? So open heart surgery, open heart, it takes time to heal. This is not an instant where you just put Indomie in the microwave, noodles in the microwave, and then 2 minutes, 3 minutes is ready for you to eat. It takes time. So allow yourself the time to heal. Be patient with yourself. Why am I still feeling so tearful? Why am I still feeling so irritable? Give yourself the time to heal. You will thank yourself later. All that giving yourself time to heal and repair, it's all part of taking care of your mental well-being. It's all part of taking care of your mental well-being. Here are a few helpful tips. It's okay to have, tip one, it's okay to have different feelings. It's okay to have different feelings. It's normal to feel sad, angry, exhausted, frustrated, confused, and sometimes they can be intense. Sometimes they can be very intense. And you may feel anxious about the future. I'm sort of recapping a lot of the things I've said. You may feel anxious about the future. Accept those feelings for now and also accept that in time, those feelings will lessen, they will reduce. It's challenging, it's difficult, but give yourself time, don't rush it. Give yourself a break, give yourself permission to feel and to function at less than an optimal level for a period of time. So if you're always the go, go, go person, if you're a doer like myself, always wanting to do, always taking charge, always making sure everybody's okay, give yourself the time, give yourself a break. Give yourself permission to function at a lesser, at a less than optimal level than you usually do. Don't be so hard on yourself, because if you do that, then you torture yourself mentally. You torture yourself mentally. I'll slide this in now. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself during that period. Yes, you may go through blame. It's okay. You will work through it. There's a whole lot of emotions that you need to work through during that period. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. It will become clear in time. It will become clear. You'll be at peace in time. Don't rush it. Don't go through this period alone. Don't go through this period alone. So, sharing your feelings with friends and family can help you get through this period. And sometimes you'll be like, oh, what are they going to say? What are they going to think about me? Throw all that thinking out of the window. Don't worry about it. Think of it that you need help. You need to talk about it because sometimes the mind is all over the place. It goes, if you are the analytical type, the mind can go overdrive and it just go over and over and over. Talk to somebody. And when you talk to somebody, a good listener will make you see that actually, or sometimes even just getting it out of of your system, you realize that, oh, actually things are not as bad as it seemed in my mind. Things are not as messy as it seemed in my mind. The mind is a very powerful tool. If you allow it, it will play so much games on you and it will wreak havoc on your life. Talk to somebody, family, friends, somebody, reach out and talk to somebody when you're going through divorce. Consider joining a support group. Join a support group. You could find a group of divorcees where it may not be a formalized group or organization, but if you find one or two people, decide to hang out every 2 weeks, every month, then you just share your stories, then you realize that, oh, actually, I'm not the only one going through this or feeling this way. It helps lighten the load. It helps to lighten the load. And the last point I put is avoid a rebound relationship. Avoid a rebound relationship. Some people immediately want to just jump on to another relationship. Sometimes it comes from a place where you want to prove to the other person that you too, you can find somebody. I don't think it's a wise decision to jump into a relationship just to use that as a band-aid, to heal your pain or to prove something. No. Avoid a rebound relationship. Don't let loneliness after your breakup or divorce push you to dive into another relationship too quickly. I have just about 3-4 minutes on Young Cooper radio. So if it goes off, if you are listening, it goes off, I'll still continue on ABOK TV, ABOK TV on YouTube, or Divorce on My Terms of Facebook. So I'll keep talking. If it ends on Young Cooper, you can switch onto social media, ABOK TV. And if you need to talk to a counselor, my number again is UK 07415 956 589. If you need to talk to a counselor, you need support, you need guidance, 07415 956 589. If you're not in the UK, just find out what the international code. I know in Ghana is +44. Find the code and reach out, text a message, drop a message on YouTube page, ABOK TV, Divorce on My Terms on Facebook, Nana Bokuma on Facebook. Send me a message and then we can pick it up from there. So, avoid a rebound relationship. Avoid a rebound relationship. Don't let loneliness after your breakup or divorce, after your divorce, don't let loneliness after your divorce push you to dive into another relationship too quickly. Keywords, too quickly. Too quickly, because you are hurting. You see, so if you're not careful, whilst you are hurting, you attract people who are also hurting. Then you are getting yourself involved in some toxic relationships. So you get yourself in a very toxic cycle, and that is not good for your health. It's not good for your well-being. So my advice: avoid avoid rebound relationship. So don't use rebound relationship to avoid loneliness or the emotions of a divorce. Take advantage of the breakup, of the divorce, to rediscover yourself. Take advantage of the divorce to rediscover yourself instead of rushing into another relationship quickly. If you've been in the marriage for how many years, you've lost a bit of yourself. Maybe hobbies you used to enjoy as a kid, as in your teens, you put that on the back burner just to raise your family, to make your marriage work. Okay, now you're a divorcee. Instead of rushing into another relationship too quickly, use that time to get to know you again. What are your likes? What are these likes? What make you tick? What are your hobbies? Do you even have hobbies? You may not have hobbies because you are raising children, because of your marriage. You stopped everything. Maybe you're a man, you're just focusing on providing. You used to enjoy football. You've thrown all your hobbies out. You're a woman, you've stopped. Maybe you used to enjoy even simple as reading a book, just going for a walk, walking along the river, admiring nature. You've stopped all of that. Use that time. Get to know you again. Date you again. Find out who you are again, what you have become, all the lessons, all these, the pain of divorce and everything, they are all life lessons. There are lessons in there to be gained. Take the lessons, take the experiences. And if you choose to remarry, then you'll be remarried from a better place. You've taken the lessons. See it as tuition. You've paid fees for some course. So date yourself again. Get to know you again. Get to know you again. What are my likes? What are my dislikes? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Okay, now let's do it a much better way. So take advantage of that. And as I've already mentioned, being alone is different from loneliness. Being alone is different from loneliness. So don't prolong being alone. Don't prolong loneliness, because if you prolong it, then you could get into anxiety, depression, stress, and all of that. So don't prolong it. Some research suggests that loneliness is associated with an increased risk of certain mental health problems, including depression, anxiety, low self esteem, sleep problems, and increased stress. Feeling lonely isn't in itself a mental health problem, but the two are strongly linked. Having a mental health problem, sorry, so sorry, can increase your chance of feeling lonely. So, in summary, divorce is a form of grief, it is a loss. We take time to grieve our loved ones that we lost, but we don't take time to grieve the loss of a marriage. Divorce is a loss of identity, loss of friends and family, loss of dreams, hopes, and aspirations together. It is a loss of self esteem. So see it as a loss, treat it as a loss, and address it as you would if you lose a loved one. So, how will you address it? Talk to people, reach out for help, talk to the right people. If the depression or anxiety or the stress is prolonged and you need professional help, therapy, seek counseling, seek therapy. There is no shame. Again, I want to say this. There is no shame in a Christian seeking therapy outside the church. When you're ill, you see the doctor. When you have a cat, you see the doctor. So why is there a shame in seeking help with a counselor, with a talk therapist, with a psychologist? Why is there shame in that? It's the same. You're reaching out for help. You're taking care of this mental faculty that we've been blessed with. Reach out for help. If the help is not available in the church, reach out for professional help. These days, a lot of churches have got professionals in the church, mental health professionals in the church who provide mental health support. If that is available, brilliant, fantastic. If not, reach out for help. Thank you for listening to me. I hope I've provided some pointers to help you if you or anyone you know is going through divorce. Divorce is painful. It hurts. Don't undermine what you have. Don't belittle. Don't let anyone belittle the pain, the challenges, the trauma you've gone through as a result of divorce. Take care of your mental health. You own it. You take charge of it. Take care of your mental well-being during divorce, because divorce tasks us on an emotional and psychological level. Take care of yourself. I'll see you another time. God bless you. Again, if you need help, if you need counseling, my number again is 07415 956 589, or go to YouTube, send me a message, ABOK TV on YouTube. Divorce on My Terms, Divorce on My Terms, one word, on Facebook, or Nana Abokoma, Naana space ABOKOMAH on Facebook. And I'll be more than willing. I have a team. I'm a counselor myself. I have a team of counselors. If you're a man or a woman, reach out for help. There is no shame in reaching out for help. It doesn't make you less of a man. If anything, you will come out a better person to stand tall as a man. God bless you. Take care of your mental well-being. Let's do this together. Bye-bye.